it's quiet.
Yeah.
Which is very much welcome after, I would say, a very intense 2 weeks of noise. And I'm not just saying noise because I'm from Woodbrook and that's what we complain about. It's been genuine noise. As you mentioned just now about the events on the avenue before Carnival, I will start off with that because we had, as you know, a couple companies blocked off the avenue to have events. The main problem with that is that there was no consideration given to residents. They were not informed beforehand, so they couldn't prepare.
You're still not informing you all? I do understand. Like what?
Exactly. And when you ask the authorities...
Answer me, Ashelle, what's the best form of communication? Because clearly, these companies will have to get permission from, I would imagine, the corporation, from, I guess, the mayor's office. Who would have to get permission from to use that?
If they're using the pavements and public parks, that'll be the city corporation. If they're using the road, that'll be police. But it's a funny thing because nobody seemed to know anything was happening when we asked questions, which was extremely disappointing. The normal thing that's supposed to happen, or at least used to happen, was that these events would notify residents within a certain radius of where the event is being held that something is happening. This year, that only happened twice. The Oval sent out notifications to let residents know something was happening there. And then the Islam concert that happened the week before Carnival. Yeah. They put flyers in people's mailboxes. They gave passes to residents to help with the parking and the ease of them going home, as well as they gave free passes to residents to attend the event, which was greatly appreciated. And those tickets went really quickly. Again, it wasn't perfect, but at least the consideration was there. That has been seriously lacking when it comes to events in Woodbrook. So imagine people, and I know you know one of the residents who lives along the avenue. Imagine you're living on the avenue. That event happens. You're prepared for it. But then the very next night, there's an event that we've heard rumors of, but we see no confirmation of until the day of the event. And then they blocked off the avenue with trailer trucks across the avenue. The newly done pavements got damaged. There was an NCC event happening that they were considering postponing it because they couldn't hear themselves think and turn amongst the participants. So it got to a situation where they were competing with the noise levels of the event that was going on that nobody knew about until it happened. And that's so disrespectful, not only to the residents, but also to the country, because you have NCC doing an event promoting the Carnival. They always have it. They've been advertising it for months. And yet this alcohol company just comes, parks up on the road, and it's all fine. The traffic from that was tremendous. And people were trapped in their houses. People could not leave. People couldn't go. The noise was just madness. And people forget, in addition to, everybody says, okay, Woodbrook is an aged population, but should it really matter if you're 89 or 2? Noise is noise. It was a school night, and people have to go to school the next day. People have to go to work. And if you know in advance, at least you could prepare yourself. Not everybody's going to like it, but that consideration is seriously lacking.
A friend of mine was telling me that his mom is elderly. She's, a senior citizen. Can't remember if it was 80s or 90s, but she was up there, really, where the air is rare, that nice age going up there. And he said that he would actually make plans to remove his mom from the said area, from Woodbrook, and take her to family far removed so she could escape the noise. He says it's the bass, the boom, boom, it is kind of, perplex her tranquility. She's get a bit flustered now. Have you heard of that kind of situation? Is that something, is that common practice in Woodbrook?
It is, but not everybody. Well, I would say it's common thought, because not everybody could afford to leave. And then according to where you live, you don't want to leave because you don't know what you're coming back home to. Because some masqueraders will just feel that your house, if they would dump garbage in there, they would use it as a toilet. If you're along a Juvie route, your wall is going to be a mosaic when you come home. So some people feel like they have to stay to protect their property. Other people cannot afford to move out for the Carnival weekend. And I know the chairman of NCC has been saying people should stop complaining about Carnival because it's a big money maker for the country. But to be honest, it's not being filtered back to Woodbrook because there's nothing being put in place to really protect the residents or enhance their experience. And just using the excuse of it makes money does not change the fact that things are not being put in place for us to enjoy it.
So Ashelle, tell me, what you think should be put in place? You think there should be some kind of compensation or reimbursement? Well, I know even the first time we had our discussion, communication, I know that is something way up on the agenda, and I agree there in that regard. I think there should be some kind of correspondence, letting residents know what's happening. But what will be the ideal fix? How can we strike that balance? Because again, Woodbrook, it's synonymous with the Carnival. It's really the epicenter. It's not only a place where people create the mass and distribute the mass, it's where people display the mass. It's truly important. I guess Woodbrook and by extension also St. James, lots of bands pass through St. James. I'm sure St. James residents might have their concerns, but Woodbrook itself, you know, I can't imagine Carnival not being in Woodbrook. But what will be the ideal balance? What will be the ideal way to massage this unfortunate situation?
Well, the thing is, like you said, Carnival is synonymous with Woodbrook, right? And vice versa. It's not like if it just happened. It used to happen all the time, and we didn't have all the issues that we're having now. The difference is that, okay, regarding the noise levels, is the equipment. Before you had brass bands, the volume levels were significantly different to what they are now. Now you have also all this technology with the bass, and it seems like if the only thing we can do is push bass. If it's not rocking your soul, it's not enjoyable. We have so it did exist. It's not like if it never happened. It used to. But again, people used to have respect and used to follow rules and regulations, and that is seriously lacking. This year we did engage with the TTPS and NCC to install signs for noise-sensitive areas along the route, because again, people live along the route, which they loved. They took it on and they printed signs and put it along the route on, I believe, Carnival Sunday. They carried the band leaders to show them where everything was located so they could pass that information on to their DJs. That didn't happen for Juve at all. Juve was a hot mess regarding noise. It was unbearable, and bands did not start at 4 a.m. For me, I woke up just after 1 a.m. and was never able to go back to sleep. And I'm sure that's the case for many residents. When the Pretty Mass started, we noticed a few bands passing that the bass levels were lower, and that made a significant difference. We got emails from residents saying how the music felt more enjoyable and more comfortable. But then that quickly stopped because bands were not doing it anymore. And we went back to the bass levels being absolutely ridiculous. We've had a couple medical situations that happened. One, an older resident in her 80s, fell down. She was calling for help and nobody could hear her because of the music trucks. She luckily had her cell phone close at hand, and she called her niece, who's located in Maraval. And the niece called a friend who lived close by, who walked over to alert the people in the house that, hey, you know, your relative is trapped in the bedroom because she fell down and couldn't get up. Another one was on the avenue. The gentleman has a heart condition. The band was passing, and they showed them a noise-sensitive sign. And the DJ pretended like he didn't understand English and didn't know what it was. And they were completely ignored. The bass from that truck triggered off a medical episode. That ambulance had to be called. And this is the situation. And I mean, think about it, Jason. They have homes for senior citizens a couple houses away from the avenue. Imagine a music truck stuck in a position for 15 minutes or more, and that bass is just rocking your soul. It's not good. And the fact that we've had residents say that when the bass is lower, it is much more enjoyable says a lot.
Yeah.
But we were on the avenue Monday and Tuesday, and I can tell you this: I don't know if it's a situation that the information wasn't passed on to the band leader, to the DJs, or if they decided not to just completely ignore it. But I did notice that some were facing the back of the truck. So playing devil's advocate, they possibly did not see the signs. Maybe the initiative is too new and it really didn't circulate properly, right? But a lot of the DJs looked at the signs and completely ignored it. They turned your back to you and went on the other side of the truck. One DJ told me that he was not the guy controlling that somebody else did it and he didn't know how to do it. And I think it's funny. I mean, I have never been on a truck. I don't know what the music sounds like inside there, but I know the speakers are not facing the inside, they're facing the outside. But still, when you have a police car or another vehicle that's needing to pass, they're somehow able to lower the truck. When the MC wants to start talking or singing, usually off key, they know how to lower the music. So how do you not know how to do that when somebody's asking you, could you please lower? And that's another thing, we're not asking you to mute it. If you mute the music, you're probably going to start a riot in Woodbrook, because Woodbrook residents like the carnival. It's just the bass and excessive noise. You have on earplugs and you're putting your hands over your ears because your ears are being irritated.
Just consideration.
That can't be healthy for anybody.
Consideration. And, you know, Ashelle, I'm always happy when we get a chance to ventilate and to go deep into the issues. You know, you're able to truly give those looking on a true sense, understanding as to what you'll deal with, and it must be resolved. It will. I think more dialogue is important. We get a chance to touch base more. Obviously, the communication lines must be open. That initiative, new, but it's one that I know will come into effect, I'm sure, if not next year, year after. And again, I'm happy to hear that the corporation is, as we speak, doing the due diligence in terms of washing down the road, because you know Woodbrook, it smells. Well, I even want to talk about that this morning. It's too early, and I eat no breakfast yet. Ashelle, I thank you this morning.
Can I just say one more thing quickly before we wrap up?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so this year we had our, we got a section of the avenue to block off for Woodbrook residents, because anytime they have anything on the avenue, you always see the little chairs come out to the corners and the residents are sitting down there. That sadly has been lost over time, especially during Carnival time. So we secured a spot that we paid for along the avenue, and thanks, I just want to say a big thank you to TTRS, Rideshare, for sponsoring it for us. The residents had a ball. It was such a good thing, and we're going to do it again next year. It was awesome.
Well done, well done, well done. Keep us posted, Ashelle, and let's see if some of these recommendations are really considered going forward. As always, all the best to you and all those who call Woodbrook home.
Thank you so much.